Hello, my name is Martina and I am originally coming from Czech Republic, which where my roots are and always will be. And currently I live in Sweden for 5 years now with my partner and my 2 sweet kids. That's a sense of love and a little bit of adventure as well. I was very curious about to learn new experiences in Nordic countries. But of course, first input was my partner, which was in Czech Republic, in Prague. It is a very lovely memory for us, for both of us, because it was really almost like you're walking to a movie, right? And he's an actor, so he was filming a Danish movie, Drottning, Queen of the North, which was like quite like a historical movie. You can find it on Netflix. He was playing a pirate, and he was really very visible and like a big guy, you know, with the beards and like covered by the hair, and he just looked like outstanding, you know. I had such a like glimmer of hope to see this guy. It's like, wow, that's something interesting coming to my life. When I saw him and he saw me, and he was just sitting outside of the hotel where I went for a meeting to meet a client. That was back then a client of the marketing agency I used to work for. He eventually found me online and we started to chat, and it just how it started, and it went very, very quick. I couldn't even think that he might come from Sweden. He looked American, you know, so I feel like, yeah, America, I love that, you know, I would love to see America. But he was from the Nordic countries, so there was a little bit of surprise. Since I visit Sweden first, I really fall in love into nature and into the beautiful fields and the calmness what definitely Nordic countries can bring, you know. We really jump into the parenting and responsibilities so quickly, pretty like right after we moved to Sweden, like 2-3 months after we met. So it went so quickly, and from that part we just experienced responsibilities, duties, and trying to get things in order. So there's not many nice sparkling memories for us, just the beginning, and then just the big amount of like what we have to do in order to live in Sweden, right? But here in Sweden, you can definitely sense that people are more conservative. It takes so much energy and proactivity for you in order to like succeed or find your workplace, you know. So the biggest challenge was definitely like, how should I switch and transform the work I used to have, I used to be, and I still wanted to continue that person, you know. I didn't want to like just give up on what I did. So I had this philosophy that I'm moving, but part of me, who is it as a work-wise, as a person, how I see myself, to build my business and continue building business, that I believe that I will transform, I will bring it with me to Sweden. Obviously, it was harder than I think, you know. You really need to have a patience and resilience as well. Like, people just don't open the door easily, like in different countries. We are so warming, you know. We are Slovak people, so we will be always welcoming. We will be always nice to people. We will always be hosting. But here, nobody really wants to host you, you know. Nobody really wants to be a friend to you. Not at all. I work with marketing, with creative stuff. We are doing photo shoots campaigns, but also requires a lot of like network you need to have around, you know. So I remember the first years here, I was just reaching people, doing a project with no payments, just the building portfolio, building the network, like making a social circle around me. There was so many projects on, and I was in the middle of everything. I was either pregnant or I had a small baby, and the same visions and ambitions has my partner at the same time. So I just remember that we always did something, and we always fight like for have enough time for your project. Be a good partner, be a good father, be a good mother, you know. And all this together, I remember that was like incredibly hard to find your own place here. Of course, now after 5 years, I would definitely call it home, you know. We have great people around, but I don't think it's an easy country if you don't have a reason to move here, you know. You really need to know why you're moving here. It's not that, of course, the system allows you to be immigrant, but the system actually doesn't really provide or help you out, you know. The fact that they tell you, yes, you can do this stuff, easily you can get in a country. If you compare to America, you can really like go just live in America, right? So this is what you can do here, but that's the end. That otherwise, the rest you have to manage by yourself. All the bureaucracy, all the manage offices, and get a personal number, get yourself into a system. Every step you need to do by yourself. And lately, I don't know if you experience, but I do a lot. Like every time I deal with some office, they will always respond to you, yeah, we can respond within like 6 months because we are too overloaded, we are too busy, we cannot handle so many cases, you know. But for you, your case is urgent. Like, for instance, my situation is that we have one company here in Sweden, but I also have a business in Czech Republic. So I have to be insured also in Czech Republic, you know. So you have to manage certain documents in order to do everything right, you know, and be able to like have a business from Sweden to Czech Republic. And all this bureaucracy takes time, you know, but they always respond to, yeah, we can manage within 6 months. But for you, it's everything, you know, because it's based, the living based on your business, being here based on your business. We went through many challenges with my partner. I still wonder that we still have the strength to continue, because it might look from the outside that everything is perfect, you know. We do a work which we have a great footage, we are doing a lot of nice campaigns, you know, everything looks perfect, but it's really, really very tricky and hard journey to make it and pull it through, you know. That's what I think many people doesn't really see, that you really need to work hard if you want to succeed in a country like this. I can always say that what I love about Sweden is that Sweden is a very structured country. You know, there's a system. There's a system for kids from the very young age, which I like, I admire so much. You know, they go to the daycare from 1 year. It is really very helpful. It really helps them to be self-disciplined and have a structure in life, have a routines. The routine is something which is very, very crucial in Sweden. I don't know if I would be able to take care of my kids at the same level of responsibility in different country. That they're growing in an environment which has a structure, which is very like calmer compared to Czech. I cannot even imagine to have them in Czech Republic, you know. Currently working on a new project, and it requires for me to travel back and forth to Czech Republic, you know. And you can immediately sense the differences, you know. The stressful like actions from the people, how they really are in rush all the time. They're almost not having a patience, you know. So that's a great qualities of Sweden, and that's beautiful. So I definitely feel this helped for me to be a better person, not only work-wise, but also as a parent, you know. But I want to say one more thing, because I didn't say that before. And it's like, if would you ask me how many Swedish friends I have, that's a 0. If you don't count my partner's family, which they have to be friends with me. You can't come here and expect that people will be open, but you can expect that you learn different qualities the country offers, and that's also worth it. I've got a very good friends from the language school, SFE, and with many of friends we are still very close, and they became our closest people, you know. So they became my family, because what you don't have when you move to another country is a family, right? Unless you build your own, but it could be pretty lonely though. If I feel like I'm belonging or I'm a part of the Swedish society, of course I am. I raised the children here, build a family here. My partner is Swedish. his family really welcomed me very, very nicely. If I should think about if I belong as a person, as a Martina, as a somebody who has a creative soul, as a somebody who is thinking out of the box, that of course not, because I'm not really working with the system, you know. I still work a lot with Czech Republic, and I will be always somewhere in the middle, you know, but I also try to learn and see that the home is something we are having inside us. It's not a place. It shouldn't be connected to a place. So, and that's how we feel, and that's what we show around. So for me, it is home where I am right now. But I can also imagine different places to live, for sure.